Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Green Room Podcast. I'm Matthew Bruni, and joining me once again is Colin Mitchell. Colin, we are less than 48 hours away from being in Charleston. How are you feeling?
I'm going to be completely honest. I am dreading this drive tomorrow. I don't know. I guess we haven't really told anyone the plan. It's going to be I drive to Baton Rouge tomorrow at 6 p.m., get there at about 1 to 2 a.m.,
Yep.
sleep. We wake up, drive the rest of the way to Charleston because I didn't have enough PTO to take off in the morning. I might have a sob story from my manager tomorrow, be like, please let me leave early.
Let me leave at 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because it's so dark. I hate driving at night,
Me
It's
too. Me too. But think of it this way. You got to make that drive, and then you can sleep for 5 or 6 hours here on the couch, and then I'll drive the first however many hours, 4 or 5 hours or whatever, and you could sleep that too. So you'll be set.
I'll just no. I wake up, I'm driving. I'm gonna get
Yeah, I
car sick.
know. That's why I'm not. I'm
I'm
not
gonna
worried
get
about you.
so car sick.
I
I
know.
feel it. I feel it.
Colin doesn't like being in the passenger seat.
I
He has to be
can't
driving.
because I have
Well,
I remember last time it was two. It was 1 or 2 road trips ago that you and I went on. I tried downloading some games on my phone. I was like, all right, I'm about to chill. I'm about to let Bernie can drive so he's not bored. He can actually do some stuff. And I was like, this is awful.
Well, what we can do is we can create a little bed in the back seat, and maybe you can just lay down on the bed or lay down in the back seat and sleep. How about that?
We'll see. I mean, God forbid that we get in an accident and I just get
Just
fly through the
shoots out the window.
We'll see, GTA style.
Oh, it's gone. Well, you can have the seatbelts over you, strapped in as you're laying down, just strapped down.
That would be great across. I like it though. I like it. We'll see. We'll update everyone because we're gonna do a podcast when we get there. So we'll update everyone on the drive.
Yes, you'll be rested.
But we are previewing game 1 for North Texas today.
Yes.
St. John's.
Yeah. North Texas versus St. John's. I thought it was at 11:30 a.m. It's at 1:30 p.m. on Thursday. So we can sleep in, get some breakfast.
Have you ever been to Charleston?
I heard Charleston has great. I've talked.
I feel like there's actually stuff to do in Charleston.
I've heard people I play tennis with rave about it. I've heard a bunch of people just tell me it's a great place with a bunch of great food spots. The bar scene's great, everything. So I have high expectations. So we'll be able to find a lunch spot, or brunch, I guess. I don't know whatever you want to call it. But yeah, 1:30 Eastern time for St. John's, North Texas. It's the first game of the tournament. Leads off the day. We just watched St. John's and Michigan play in the Garden. St. John's, obviously led by Rick Pitino. We're not going to act like we are St. John's experts, but having watched them for their game against Michigan, they did lose the game 89-73. I thought Michigan looked exceptional in that game.
I agree.
That's a really good team. But yeah, overall, I think my main takeaway from watching St. John's in this game and looking at their 2 box scores, they beat Stony Brook by 16 in their first game, was Joel Soriano at center, 6'11", has led them in scoring in both games, 15 points against Michigan, 6 of 8 shooting. He's 5 offensive rebounds, 1 block. He is going to be a handful for North Texas. I think that was my main takeaway in it, because coming off the first 2 games, it was, for North Texas, it was Sissoko and Allen. That the 5 position is where we needed to see them really grow throughout the year.
Yeah.
So now you're going up against an all-conference center in the Big East in Joel Soriano, and you don't have any more time to grow up. This is who you're facing. And then obviously, we don't even have to look any farther in the second round or whatnot, but I mean, LSU has a 7-footer Will Baker who's pretty good as well. So there's no more learning here. This is very much the centers need to be able to play and play well.
It's exciting for us, I guess, to actually watch a game, then play a game or against St. John's, because this is going to be the best team that they play. I mean, probably since Purdue when they won the tournament game. I mean, St. John's was in the tournament last year.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a really good benchmark, and I say that because I think that North Texas can compete with this team. With that being said, I do completely agree with you. On the inside, I'm pretty terrified. Sissoko and Allen are great, but I think that Soriano, is that you say his name?
Yeah.
Soriano is a different breed in that sense, but I think that North Texas is going to be able to slow down St. John's and make them uncomfortable. Because if the one thing I noticed outside of Soriano was the fact that they play fast and they like to move the ball a lot of motion. And I think North Texas is going to be able to stop that more or less to a certain degree, right, and make them uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, they put up. I know they were down, so they put up more shots, but they put up 75 shots against Michigan.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I mean, okay. Well, first of all, I don't. St. John's did not make the tournament last year. They
did they
were
not?
no, they were. They beat UConn though. How about
Did
that?
Rick Pitino play some
No,
coach
Rick
somewhere else
Pitino
last
was at
year?
Iona last year and
That's
made
what
the
it was.
tournament.
That's what it
Now
was.
he's at St. John's, taking over that program. So this is his first year there. They have some good transfers in.
Transfers in, yeah.
But my main thing, speaking to your point about getting up that many shots, it's because they grabbed 27
Yeah.
I want to make sure I'm reading this right, right? 27 offensive
27
rebounds
offensive rebounds.
and 33 second chance points. They are currently on KenPom because of this of tonight's performance. They are, I believe, number 1 in the country in offensive rebound percentage, 53.6, because of this performance. And obviously, it's small sample size, 2 games, but they are currently through 2 games grabbing 53.6% of their misses.
Yeah.
And that goes to, again, what we were talking about, the 5 position, Aaron Scott, the guards. North Texas, to this point in the year, has not been a dominant rebounding team like they've been in years past. And it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see if that comes back to bite them all. I did think Michigan was able to get their own rebounds. Like, they offense rebound well against St. John. So
Yeah.
that was an interesting thing.
I
But
mean, yeah, they
obviously,
had 14 offensive rebounds against St.
North
John's.
Texas isn't Michigan size, though. So that's going to be
Right.
the interesting thing. But that is a concern for me, because through Northern Iowa, Nebraska, Omaha, they haven't, they haven't looked like a team that is not only going to stop you, but then get the rebound to finish off the possession like they have been in years past, which, it takes time. Every year it takes time for North Texas to get there, but that's interesting.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think expectations for just what I want to see from North Texas outside from a win, obviously, is I would like to see the guards get, I guess it's hard because I feel like we haven't seen a lot of like guards that aren't supposed to be the main attraction, right? Like we see a lot of Jason Edwards, we see a lot of Ruben, but I think I want to see Bugs have more shots. He had I guess he shot 6 times against Omaha. I didn't watch the whole all of that game, but I want to see that continue. I want to see where you have guys like Ruben 10 shots. Where's Jason
Ruben
Edwards? Jason Edwards.
10. It was Aaron Scott 9, like you said, Bugs 6, Nolan 8. Nolan had a fantastic game. I thought he was, I mean, obviously 18 points. I thought he was legit in that game. But yeah, then it's going to come down to Jason Edwards only had 5 points in that game, 12 minutes. And this was something I wanted to bring up, I think, last podcast, but it's very much an offense for defense thing with him, where I don't know if they fully trust him on the defensive side of the ball yet. So they're kind of hesitant to put him in for long stretches in place of Nolan and Bugs, because Nolan and Bugs, I think, have the potential to be very, very good defensively. So that's kind of where the concern is there. And then we got, Matt Stone came in and hit 2 threes last game. If he goes 2 of 4 from 3 every game, I am very,
amazing.
very happy with Matthew Stone.
Yeah, Aaron Scott as well, 7 and 9 from the field, 3 threes again.
Yeah.
He is on another level this year so far. And if he can do that against a lot of these teams in the Charleston Classic, I'm going to be very happy. AAC Player of the Week.
Yep. Memphis didn't get that one, did they?
Yeah. Stick it to
might have beat Missouri, but you didn't get the Player of the Week award. We got that one at home.
So to me, it's just having them being this tournament. It's really cool to see them play these good teams early and then building off of that, because I feel like up to this point, this tournament's almost like a culmination of what Ross, Grant before him have kind of built up, right? And for them to be in this tournament at all is exciting to me. So I think against St. John's, they have a really good shot.
Yeah, I agree 100%. This being in this tournament is a result of them winning the NIT and winning a game against Purdue, like being in conference championships multiple years. I mean, for those here, let me show the tournament since maybe some people don't know 100% who's in it.
Yeah.
Here it is. Let me make my screens bigger. So it's St. John's. Let me make it a little bigger too. St. John's, North Texas, Dayton, LSU, Houston, Towson, Utah, and Wake Forest. Towson last year, I believe, was 130th in Ken Palm. LSU was not good last year either. They were like 150, but they're going to be, they'll be better this year. They'll be in the top 100. Dayton is obviously a basketball school through and through. Wake Forest was good last year and it's good every year. Utah's good every year. Houston is a top 5 team in the country. And then St. John's, Rick Pitino, North Texas. So this is a perfect tournament for North Texas. Like they're not going to the Battle for Atlantis. They're not going to the the Maui Invitational with Kansas and Duke and Michigan State. That's not happening. This is perfect because it not only gives you recognition in terms of you're playing, potentially Rick Pitino, you're potentially playing LSU, you're potentially playing whoever, Utah or Wake Forest, which I think those are quality schools. But you have a chance to get wins and be competitive against these teams where they're good, but they're not, worlds better than you. Like when they played Kansas in the ESPN Classic 2 years ago, remember? They were like, they played really well and they were close, but they lost. It was like they were never going to win that game.
Right.
You weren't going to win that game. These are games where if North Texas plays well, they can prove themselves. And heck, if they beat St. John's, they're going to be probably favored in the second game, So then you're talking a potential championship run.
Yeah.
And then you're playing Houston in the championship. Like that. That's what we're saying is like that's where this can lead to where you're not in a field where you're going to be 10 point underdogs,
right.
whatnot. So that's what I'm excited for. I do agree with you. I'm excited to see the guards. I think their guards match up pretty well with St. John's. I mean, I think the St. John's guards are good. They shoot the ball very, very well. They hit 11 threes in their first game, 9 in their second game. So they're going to come ready to shoot. I'm excited to see the perimeter defense from North Texas. I'm excited to see Reuben Jones. But more than anything, I want to see Aaron Scott go against the size of what St. John's and then potentially Dayton or LSU have on the wing to where he might have to get a little bit more creative. He might have to continue to expand his bag.
Right.
And that's going to be fascinating for me to watch. So that's probably my rundown of it.
Yeah. Regarding the teams that they play, we already mentioned St. John's. Obviously, Houston, you already said top 5 team. I think it's really cool because I think in most tournaments, like you said, when they went to play Kansas a few years ago, is you never really got the benchmark game. Whereas I feel like this tournament has a lot of teams up and down, we'll say Ken Palm. So Houston, top 5. Dayton's probably what, like in the 50s, 60s?
Let's read this off.
Yeah.
Dayton is 67. LSU is 65.
Okay. And then
St. John's, I know, dropped because they're lost to Michigan. So they're down to 74. I believe they were in the 50s before that. But yeah, they're at 74. So again, if you win any of those games, that's potentially a quad 1 win.
Yeah,
maybe?
Utah 34th on Ken Palm.
At the very least, a quad 2 win. Like you have a chance to leave this tournament with 2 quad 2 wins, probably.
Yeah.
So, and that's huge. That's huge for a team that obviously we'll have to see how the rest of the season goes, and it'll be difficult. Like, we don't have expectations of being an at-large bid, but if North Texas could, win 2 games in this tournament, you are putting yourself in a position to be an at-large bid if you can go, something really good in conference, which is a long ways away. But if nothing else, 2 wins in this tournament, I think, puts you on the map to say, hey, North Texas still really, really good at basketball.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
What would constitute as a good run for you? Like, what would you be happy with? Just the way I was looking at it is if they beat St. John's and then lose the next 2 games.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that would still be very good.
I think that'd be very good because your next 2 games would be what, Dayton and I guess whoever loses
Dayton
the bottom.
and let's say Utah or Wake Forest.
Utah or Wake Forest. Yeah, I mean, if you play Utah and listen, if you can get a win against any of these teams, that's good in itself. We already mentioned the at-large bid thing, but if you're able to sneak a second, depending on how you play, in that 3rd game, like that'll go a long way. That'll go a long way.
Like, these are games, again, if you beat St. John's, the path for you getting 2 wins is very, very attainable because you'll play Dayton or LSU, where it'll be, I mean, they're right next to each other in Ken Palm. I said 65, 67. Those 2 are. North Texas is 88th, which I still think is a little too low for them, but I think it's whatever. It's fair. It's a new team. So, those are games that you'll be competitive in. And then, obviously if you win, make the championship game, the Houston game doesn't even matter. Like you can,
Yeah, yeah.
whatever happens there.
Give them a game. Give them a
Give
game
them a
with it.
game. At that point, that is best case scenario is you win your first 2 games.
Right.
I think if they lose to St. John's, but they win the next 2 games, that would be almost better potentially than just beating St. John's and losing the next 2.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't care
Because
about the tournament, then yeah, I mean, you could have a better chance of getting better wins on your
yeah,
schedule.
let's say in theory if they did that and they beat LSU in the first consolation and then they beat Wake Forest in the second consolation.
2 good teams.
I mean,
That's 2 good
okay,
teams.
I'm taking that. Like, again, this is a tournament where the wins you will only play Towson, who is the only team I think outside of the top whatever 100 or 100 whatever.
They are 142.
Yeah, I think Wake's actually kind of low this year, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see.
Wake Forest is
Oh,
71.
never mind. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and where's Utah? Just so I have
Utah's
reference.
34.
Jesus. Okay. Yeah. Again, the only way you play Towson, I think, is if you lose both first and second games.
Right.
So that's kind of worst case scenario. Obviously, worst case scenario is you go 0-3. But second worst case is you lose, play Towson, and then you don't get any real quad 1 or quad 2 wins. Because this is why you're in the tournament, is to try to steal one of these. This is kind of, and I don't want to put too much emphasis on just this because North Texas has a lot of opportunities to get some wins, right? They have Boise State, they have Mississippi State. But to me, I think you look at this, and this is ideal situation to get one of those.
Yeah.
Like win one of your first 2 games.
And in terms of get rid of wins or losses, what do you want to see from this team in terms of Ross? Obviously, you played UNI. You won the game. Great. Omaha was a game. You beat them. I think this is going to kind of give us I already mentioned the benchmark of what we expect to see this season. Where do you think what would you like to see in terms of that?
I mean, it's got to be the defense, right? It's got to be we have to see the defense take a step forward.
Yeah.
From where it's been. I compared this team to the 2020 team where it was, Mo and Javion and Zach and that James Reese and that offensive firepower on that team. Like I think this team could get potentially maybe to that level. That team was 34th in the country in offense. Insane number.
Great team.
But like I think this team has the offensive talent. This team right now is shooting over 60% effective field goal percentage, 45% from 3. Like this team can score the ball. I need to see the defense become what Ross Hodge envisions it becoming. And if that shows up in St. John's, great. If it shows up in day 2 against Dayton or LSU, great. That's where I'm interested to see things kind of come together for this North Texas team. That's what I'm looking at for Ross Hodge because Ross is not happy through 2 games.
Yeah, and that's why I asked because you are going to be playing teams better than you are on par with you. St. John's, especially opening, is a really good test of that because they do play so fast. Can you still be the North Texas that's able to slow teams down and make it really uncomfortable for teams?
Well, again, I don't know through 2 games how like if okay on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the fastest, 1 being the slowest. Grant McCasland was at the slowest. They were at the 1.
Yeah, I mean, look at Tech right now. They won like 52-46 or something like that. What I said
56-42.
Yeah,
and they are, and I think they literally had I saw a tweet. Was it 58 possessions in that game?
Yeah,
and they were averaging 60 last year at North Texas. So literally, he's playing
slower.
just as slow, if not slower. Yes. So, but anyways, this feels like a team that is intent on playing faster and is actually playing faster through 2 games. Where do you want to see North Texas on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being Grant McCasland, 10 being Andy Kennedy and UAB.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you want them to be? Because where do you think they are going to be?
I think they'll probably be 1 being slowest, 10 being the fastest. I think around a 3 or a 4 would be where I'm comfortable at. Because the only thing we really didn't like about the offense last year and years before is we want them to take a shot earlier.
Yeah,
I mean, like if you see it, if you see a shot that's open, take it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or if you see an open, you attack a guy, take it. And I think this year that team's done that so far. What I want to see though on the defensive end is making sure that you're able to, once you make that shot, get back, and not lose defensive rotations and things like that. That's really been my main thing is just adjusting to, I guess, not being able to just wear down teams as easily. So
I agree. I don't have anything else. Do you have anything else on this?
No, I don't think
All
so.
right. Let's show the tournament one more time.
Yep. St. John's, North Texas, Dayton, LSU. LSU, are you gonna be rooting for LSU, Bruni? North Texas,
them.
LSU. Which hat you putting on?
I'll be covering them, Colin.
Which hat you gonna be
That's
putting
the reason
on?
we're going.
No, I know. But which hat are you gonna be putting on if North Texas and LSU play?
I'll have my LSU hat on and this North Texas shirt on. There you go.
Take play the NIT championship.
Look. This is how I'll be right here. Let's see if I got it. Yeah, here it is. I haven't worn this hat in a long time either. Look, I'll be LSU hat, North Texas shirt. There we are.
God, what a combination! It's like that SMU UNT shirt that we saw.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That was nasty. But yeah, day 2 will be interesting. If you lose, play at 11:30 a.m. Win, play at 2 p.m. So either way, we will be there and we will be watching the games. We'll have video. We'll have a bunch of stuff, interviews after the game. We'll be sure to get the press conferences up for y'all on our YouTube as well. So yeah, stay tuned to the Green Room podcast and the Green Room UNT Twitter. Thank you all. We're over 400 follows there as well. So we appreciate all the support. Thank you all for following us and giving us a platform to talk North Texas sports. We will do a brief football podcast later in the week because we have to fulfill our contractual agreement. But yes, we will be back.
For no other reason. We don't want to talk football.
We do, Colin. We do. Okay.
No, it's the way you said it made it sound like that's the only reason.
It's a big week, Tulsa. We love a good game against Tulsa. All right. But yeah, we'll be back, and y'all have a good week.